Hi, Eamon here with another No One Likes Us Talking special. Today we welcome to the airways one of the most familiar Millwall supporters to many denizens. She has been involved with many charitable causes and commended for what she has done, has worked hard for Millwall supporters over many years, and is the current editor of the Lion Roars Fanzine, having been a regular contributor for quite some time. She is a former Sedge Hill schoolgirl and now care manager. It is, of course, Ayse Smith. Welcome, Ayse.
Hi. Well, all right, Eamon.
Yeah, great to have you here. And there's so much I'd like to ask you, but we are constrained with a bit of time, so I'll get straight into it, really.
Okay.
So, why Millwall?
Right.
Didn't any other club turn your head?
You know what? It's only in recent years that I feel brave enough to admit it. But when I was before I was 10, I used to like Tottenham, but only because, and I've realised why now, they were always on the telly at the time, and that's who you see, you know.
Yeah.
But luckily, I mean, unfortunately, my dad is an armchair Man United fan, so that was a definite no-no. But fortunately, one of my neighbours, Paul Mitten, God rest his soul, he's not with us anymore, he was a mad Millwall fan, and he got me into Millwall, so, you know.
That's how it started.
Yeah, that's how it started, yeah.
And it ain't stopped. So
No,
how
it
long ago
hasn't
was
stopped.
it? Well, that was after you were 10 then, as you were saying.
Yeah. So it's, 37 years now.
Goodness
Oh,
gracious.
God, I'm getting old.
Didn't have to give your age away there. That's all right, though.
Oh, I think
All
you
right,
can tell by
Ayse.
looking at me, I'm not a spring chicken.
Well, you said it, not me.
Yeah.
So, how did you get involved with the Lions Roar?
I always used to buy it, and I saw in there one day, it just had a little advert in there for somebody who could go down to the training ground to do interviews with the players.
Right.
So I thought, I'll email in about that, not thinking, you know, that I'd have a chance in hell. You think a million people are going to write in, don't you?
Yeah.
But they didn't, and that was into Paul Casella was running the magazine then,
Right.
and you know, and it just went from there really. Paul sent me some questions, I did some of my own questions, and I just used to go down and interview different players, like, normally a couple a month, and see which was the better interview, or who come out with the better things, and it just went from there. But then Paul had had enough. After I've been doing that a few years, he'd had enough of editing, because he did, he was totally submerged in it all, and it does take over your life as well. But so he decided he wanted to give it up, and he spoke to Stephen 18, who used to be a reporter for the Southwark News.
That's right.
The sports reporter, yeah. And so Steve took it over, thinking that, he was going to make his first million doing this because it's wonderful and get loads of money. And after about 2 months, he realised that actually this is costing me about £600 a month. So, he was like, do you want to take it over? And I was like, I haven't got a clue, I can write an interview out on a Word document, but I wouldn't have a clue how to edit anything, or, didn't know the software or nothing. So he said, well, I'm going to fold it if you don't, because I can't do it, I can't. So anyway, and that's just how I got into it. Went down to his house one day, got all the stuff on a memory stick, and just came home and played with the software and worked out how to do it. How it happened, I have no idea. It's more by luck than judgment.
And of course, on top of the magazine, you've also got the Facebook site that you run.
Yeah. Well, it's just a Facebook page, really. Like you can make a group on Facebook.
Yeah.
So it's just with that. I mean, we have got a website, but it's not very up to date, and I'm trying to knuckle down to do that now.
I wasn't going to mention that, but as you have done, I mean, there's so much to be done when you're doing these types of things. I know, and the commitment is immense. Congratulate you on what you do, because you're very prominent on the social media side as well. And to top that up, I suppose you've been with Millwall Supporters Club for some time. What brought you to join them?
a similar thing, really. I think I don't know if it was online, it must have been online, that I saw that they were looking for, it started off to help with their notes in the programme and stuff like that they needed a writer to go in and help with stuff. And so I applied for that and had a little interview for that, and then started on there. And then it's kind of how the old committee used to work was just anything that came in that needed dealing with, someone would go, right, yep, I'll deal with that. You know, it didn't matter what your job title as such was, you know, like if you were the head of media or, you know, you were programme notes or whatever, you all just jumped in and did whatever needed doing.
Right.
And so I tended to get further and further away from doing anything with the programme, and dealt more with charity stuff and the email side, you know, like when people write in and they're asking for a shirt for an auction, or, you know, somebody's really ill, can you get a letter sent to them and stuff like that. So I ended up doing that more than totally separate to the programme notes, really. But as I say, all of us did lots of different things, not what our title was on the website or whatever. You just jumped in and did whatever needed doing. You know, you went to the Football Supporters Federation meetings and stuff. Yeah. If you know, no one could go, the person who normally goes, you know, then they would go. That's just kind of how it works, really.
So it was all covering each other's backs, really.
Yeah, because, you know, people have different things going on in life, and
That's right.
And different dates come up, you can't always make them, so somebody else can do that for you, or, you know.
You have actually been in the forefront of many sort of good causes. You say, of course, it came through, much of this comes through the Supporters Club, but there must be something in there that keeps you to drive on. I mean, most recently I see the cake stand, and you got commended, well commended for the sleeping bag for the homeless. Yeah. Is there something that's in you that makes you go look at things?
I think so. I think it's one of them things where I did have, you know, a bit of a strange upbringing, not very settled down, and I think you look at people in need slightly different, especially when you're mature. And I'm quite comfortable now. My kids are older. You know, I've got a roof over my head, and then you look at things and you just think, well, who's out there that needs help? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, some people may not be like that, but it's something that, you know, nearly every day I look at my life and think, I'm so lucky to be here. You know, I'm so lucky my kids are healthy. I'm so lucky that I've got a roof over my head. There's so many other people in worse positions. What can I do to help them? You know, and I suppose then things that go on, like with the UK Homes for Heroes. You know, you see that they're and it's not like with the sleeping bag thing. The idea with that was, I thought, well, people don't like giving money because you don't. If you're not in with the people collecting it, you don't really know where that's going, do you? No. I mean, you look at some of the bigger charities and their CEOs are getting 150 grand and what have you. So how much of your pound is going to them rather than the people that need it? So I thought, with the sleeping bags and blankets and hats, that goes directly to the homeless veteran. You know, so when you hand over a sleeping bag, you know that's going to be keeping somebody warm of a night time. You know, 50% of that is not paying somebody's wages or whatever. So, you know, that was the idea with that, really. And they're a local charity. They're in Surrey Docks. Yeah. They're just above the Surdock Club, if anybody's local that knows it. So, you know, a Bermondsey charity, you know, close to home, close to most Millwall supporters' hearts anyway. You know, we do love our veterans. We love it, you know, as serving army, you know, not just the veterans. So that was one way to help them as well. And different badges and stuff that I get made for the Poppy Appeal. So that all money goes into the Poppy Appeal. But I've since sort of sliced it in half, and UK Help for Heroes gets half and the Poppy Appeal gets the other half. But only because in my mind it's the same thing again. It's, you know, we all love the Poppy Appeal, but, you know, it's paying loads of people's wages as well, you know, rather than it just all going to the people that need it. So, you know, it's a little way of doing both, really.
Yeah, that's pretty sound thought, and
Yeah,
certainly
yeah.
what you've done, taken a lot away from perhaps some administration that goes into those organisations.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, that's it. And then, the money's going directly to the people who need it rather than paying people's wages. I know everyone needs to have a job, but,
Sure.
Those people need it more.
You mentioned the kids are growing up, and so
Yeah.
did you more Millwall supporters to the world?
They didn't get a choice.
They did.
They didn't even get a choice. No, from, I think, Charlie, my eldest, was about 6 months old when he first went. Kate was about 6 months old, and Tony was 2 weeks old. So they were getting younger, younger. But it's one of them things that, I don't know, because I was always at football. I mean, I can remember the away game at Walsall that we won to go to Wembley.
Yeah.
Was, I think it was 6 days before Tony was born.
Cool.
So, jumping around, and we planned all the hospitals on the way back from Walsall and to Walsall in case I needed to go. So I just think, the babies can hear everything, in their mum's tummy. So they were used to it before they were born. So it wasn't a shock. Like some people think, oh, I'm not going to take them till they're about 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you've been going and they've been in your belly all that time, they've already heard that Millwall crowd. It's nothing that's going to surprise them.
It is a challenge when you think about when do you start bringing kids to football, but the earlier the better.
Well, yeah, but you all know your own child as well, don't you?
That's
So
right.
you know whether they'll cope with it or not.
Yeah. Talking of going to football and things like that, how do you see this season going? It's not been great, but what are your thoughts?
It's not, but do you know what? We didn't start off that great last year either.
No.
And we just, we got into it, a bit earlier. But I just think it's a shame really that we've just had the international break, because they just sort of started chomping at the bit with Forest away and then Villa, and then they got a break. I mean, I know a couple of the lads have had, they've gone away with the international side, but it's not the same.
No.
So I'm hoping, fingers crossed and touch wood and all that they will be chomping at the bit on Saturday and carry on where they left off, because I think that's all they needed. They seem to lose that little bit of togetherness with all the George Savile business. Like a couple of weeks before he went, it was obviously they were all talking about it. You could see they were unsettled, couldn't you really?
Yeah, I'll agree with you.
And and it seems like maybe that's settled down now. Now we've got Bradshaw and Leonard in, and that they're back to that group of mates again. That makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Does. And I think for me, most of all, that unsettling period, as you said, when Savile went, really made others think, oh, where do we sit in all of this? And and then you say, I think they did struggle with it, but nonetheless, we've got. I think we've got a good squad. What do you think about the newbies? Scarlack, you mentioned Leonard.
I forgot about Scarlack. I mean, we've seen them play before and how good they were. I mean, obviously they've got to do what's right in the training ground for Neil to let them into the team. And I mean, within reason, even if you're playing bad, you can't just let anyone walk into the team, because what does that say to the rest of the dressing room? So that they've got to earn their place. And Neil's very clear on things like that people won't just walk into the team. He's always been like that, and I think he was right to not, as much as at times it looked like you think, oh bloody hell, can't you just get Bradshaw on, and but it's got to be the right time for the rest of the dressing room, and so hopefully they've earned that now in training, and he'll be able to play them properly, not just as subs or what have you.
Yeah, he looks like he was very happy, old Tom Bradshaw, with turning out for the under-23s to keep his match fitness up. So that was good for him. The other one, I suppose, who comes to mind and that hasn't really managed to get a settled spot is old Tom Elliott. What do you think about Tom and how he's performing?
Well, see, I mean, when you see him playing for Wimbledon before, it was like, bloody hell, he's fantastic, isn't he?
Yeah.
I've got to stop saying that, sorry. Yeah, you know, and he never seemed to... I don't know if it's that he wasn't settled or we were expecting too much of him because, of course, you know, we're in the Championship now as well, and that was with Wimbledon in League One, and it's very different, you know,
Sure.
Technically and physically, it's completely different for players. So I think he probably needed to adjust to going up a league as well. You know, I mean, and he's a big boy and all, isn't he?
He certainly is. He's someone that hovers over me, yeah.
Yeah, so he shouldn't have any trouble getting up for headers and whatnot, but he just needed to build his confidence, I think, and I think the last game, you know, last couple of games have done wonders for him, really.
Yeah, he certainly has turned up.
Yeah, just saying, hopefully that continues now, you know.
So if you was to say where we might finish this season, where do you reckon it'd be?
I reckon about 10th.
Right.
Definitely top half, I think. Good. I know, obviously, we weren't doing so great, but it's early days, so even losing 2-3 games can put you right down the bottom at the beginning of the season. You know, once we've got a few more wins behind us, I don't think we'll be way at the very top of the table, but I think we'd be pretty respectably, you know, 10th or 12th even, top half.
So if you're looking at the team and the team going into, I suppose, next January, old Neil Harris has given some thoughts on that. Do you think there's any particular places or positions that we need to strengthen in?
I don't know, really. I think where they've only just started to settle down, I think really we need to see how they are in their settled positions to see where there's something lacking, you know. I mean, ideally, you'd have 2 or 3 players all vying for that same spot, but we can't afford a squad like that, you know. It's all right if you're Man United or whatever and you've got millions and millions, but you do want at least 2 people fighting for that spot, because otherwise they just get complacent and don't worry because they know they're straight on the team sheet because there's no one else that can do the job. So, you know, that's really important, I think. Yeah,
I think we've got quite a good position in terms of having more than one player that can cover a spot. So within reason, that sounds sensible. Last question for you, Ayse.
Okay.
Before I let you go.
Okay.
Of all your time following the Lions, what is the period of time or game or whatever it is that you've thought to yourself, wow, that's so fantastic and sits in your memory box forever?
The beating Sunderland at Old Trafford,
the
final, and then the away game at Ferencváros. I suppose that little period has just totally blown my mind away. And even now, sometimes I sit back and think, did that really happen? You know, you just think, what? I mean, you know, we've had some great times, like, you know, a couple of, or 3 great promotions that I can think of straight away. But that time period was like, you know, I know to us, we think everybody knows who Millwall is, but everybody did know who Millwall was then, you know. And that, I mean, specifically that day at Old Trafford, wow. I mean, just wow.
It was a wow.
I was in a daze for days, literally. You know, I mean, the final was great, you know, it's the FA Cup final, it's brilliant. But, you know, that day, that semi-final was the day, really. It was amazing. And I think it was probably, we all kind of knew we were going to get beat by Man United, so we went there for the day. You know, you sung for the full, well, not just 90 minutes, you know, we sung for like 120 minutes even, you know, and we all expected the result, but with the Sunderland business, although we'd beat them home and away that year already, you just think, because we've beat them home and away, this is going to be the time when we're not going to do it, you know. And we managed to do it, and I think that's what because that was so unbelievable, and it led to so many great things, like the final, and then, you know, playing away in Europe as well. So I think I'd have to say, I'd love to have been alive in the, I don't think I was. I was born December 71, so for that team, They're like
Yeah.
66 to 71 team.
Yeah.
I'd love to have seen that. You know, you read so much about it, and there's not much video footage. That seems to have been a fantastic time. Maybe if I was around then, I would have said then, but no. Sorry, very long-winded answer that, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't long-winded. It's lovely to hear your thoughts on it, because for me it was one of our best periods, and I was around in 66 to 71, and I got to tell you, it outstripped that by a mile. There were some great players.
Oh, did it really?
There, but we all have our favourite times.
That's it, yeah, we've all got our favourite times, haven't we?
Well, that's lovely to speak with you, Ayse.
Yep, and it's lovely to speak to you.
Yeah, and we'll catch up again, no doubt. I'll catch you perhaps for a post-match reaction one day.
Yeah. God.
Not too long. And you can give me your thoughts on the game and where we go from there. But
yeah,
thank you for coming on. Don't forget,
you're more than welcome.
We're just another one of those Facebook pages as well, and we share bits on either's pages. And thanks for coming on.
That's it. We're all one big happy family, aren't we, eh?
We've got to
not always so happy, but we've got to try to be.
Yeah,
all pulling in the same direction.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ayse. That's great.
Okay.
Much
You're
appreciated.
welcome. Thanks for having me.
No One Likes Us Talking specials are sponsored by
Dean Wilson, Independent Funeral Directors at Elton, Bromley and Lock's Bottom. No One Likes Us Talking is also sponsored by Gary at Tower Design and Print Limited,
WePrintAnyGift.com,
Reliance South East Cleaning Services covering London, Kent and Sussex, Bexley Steel, Power Industrial Estate, Slade Green Road, Erith, and North East Millwall. You can find our sponsors' details online or at our website at noonelikesUsTalking.com. That is a talking without a G, and No One Likes Us Talking is all one word. That's noonelikesUsTalking.com.